What if the prophecies that saved empires were spoken by women in chains? Picture this, 480 BC. Persia's massive army is crushing Greece. Athens is desperate, clinging to a cryptic prophecy from Delphi, "Wooden walls will save you." That prophecy sparked a naval victory that changed history, but who delivered those words? The Pythias, priestesses of Apollo, revered as the god's voice. Here's the chilling truth: these women lived like prisoners in the temple, breathing poisonous fumes to enter trances, some dying in the process. Were these oracles free, or slaves to a divine machine? Welcome to one of the ancient world's darkest secrets, a tale of fate, exploitation, and hidden sacrifice. This isn't just a story about a temple, it's about the women who paid the price for its power. Let's dive in. Are you ready? Could you be the voice of a god and still be a prisoner? The Pythias were the most influential women in ancient Greece. Kings knelt before them, cities rose or fell on their words. From the 8th century BC, when Delphi's sacred site was built on Mycenaean ruins, these women were handpicked to speak for Apollo. But who were they? Usually poor, rural women, often from Dorian families. In the early days, they were young girls, but after a scandal involving an assault around 500 BC, only women over 50 were chosen, dressed as virgins for the role. Why pick humble women for such a divine task? The priests believed the god needed a pure vessel, untainted by wealth or status. But this sacred role came with chains, literal and figurative. Pausanias, a 2nd century traveler, describes their lives. Pythias lived inside the temple, cut off from the world. They couldn't marry, raise families, or leave. Their every move was controlled by priests. Sounds like freedom? Think again. Archaeologists uncovered over 1,000 manumission inscriptions on Delphi's polygonal walls, 200s BC, French excavations, records of slaves being freed. Some suggest Pythias were former slaves or, even if free, bound to the temple for life. Plutarch recounts a Pythia dying young, hinting at the toll of their role. Was it the fumes, or the weight of divine servitude? This echoes our series perfectly. In Mesopotamia, temple slaves toiled for gods. In Egypt, ritual workers served sacred systems. Here in Greece, the Pythias were exalted yet exploited, their voices shaped by priests who held the real power. They spoke for Apollo, but who spoke for them? Their fatalistic role, believing fate was unchangeable, made them both divine instruments and victims. So, how did they deliver these prophecies? Let's step into the temple's shadows. Did the gods whisper through the Pythias, or was it something in the air? The Pythias ritual was a spectacle of mystery and danger, unlike anything in the ancient world. Every month, on Apollo's sacred 7th day, she'd prepare with eerie precision. She bathed in the Castalian spring, chewed bay leaves, and sat on a 3-legged bronze stool called a tripod, perched over a chasm in the temple floor. What happened next? Fumes rose from the Kurna spring below. She'd inhale, slip into a trance, and murmur cryptic words. Priests translated these into prophecies that guided empires. But those fumes? They weren't divine, they were deadly. In 2001, geologists Gel de Boer and John Hale cracked the code. They found ethylene gas seeping from the Kurna spring, a fault line running under Delphi. Ethylene causes hallucinations, too much can kill. French archaeologists in the 1920s uncovered tripod fragments and confirmed the chasm's existence. So, were the Pythias high on gas? Plutarch describes a Pythia collapsing, dying during a trance. Earthquakes along the Delphi fault amplified gas surges, making some sessions lethal. The ritual was steeped in fatalism, tying to our series theme. The Greeks believed fate was fixed, Pythias were merely conduits for Apollo's will. But here's the twist: priests controlled the narrative. Herodotus tells us the wooden walls prophecy of 480 BC saved Athens, but the priest's interpretation leaned political, swaying leaders. Was the Pythia a prophet or a pawn? Like Mesopotamia's temple slaves, she had a sacred role but no freedom. Priests shaped her words to fit their agenda. A haunting detail: before each session, a goat was sprinkled with spring water. If it didn't shiver, the ritual was cancelled. Why the test? It likely checked the gas's potency, a primitive safety measure. Modern toxicology links the Pythias' early deaths to ethylene exposure. Were they hearing gods, or choking on fumes? This ritual, blending science and mysticism, mirrors the exploitation in our previous episodes, where sacred duties masked systemic control. Delphi changed history, so why were its priestesses forgotten? Delphi was the ancient world's nerve center. Its prophecy in 480 BC, urging Athens to trust wooden walls, led to a naval victory against Persia. Solon's laws, Sparta's reforms, even new colonies, all bore Delphi's stamp. Socrates himself sought the oracle's wisdom. But this influence rested on the Pythias' shoulders, women whose servitude was barely acknowledged. Why don't we know their names? By the 2nd century BC, Rome's rise dimmed Delphi's light. In AD 390, Christian Emperor Theodosius banned pagan worship, shutting the temple forever. Its final prophecy? It is all over. Christianity branded the Pythias trances demonic, erasing their story. Excavations reveal a ruined temple, its secrets buried. How did such a powerhouse vanish? Today, the Pythias trance echoes shamanic rituals or fortune-telling. The 2001 gas study solved the divine mystery, but their exploitation remains obscured. Like the slaves of Mesopotamia and Egypt, the Pythias were vital yet voiceless, their fatalistic role a shadow over their legacy. Were they just pawns of fate? Is Delphi's darkest secret still buried in its rocks? The Pythias shaped history, but their chains, both physical and fateful, were real. Herodotus, Plutarch, ancient inscriptions, and modern science uncover this hidden story. From Mesopotamia to Egypt to Greece, our series reveals how sacred systems exploited the vulnerable. Does fate still bind us today? If this tale gripped you, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. What ancient mysteries should we unravel next? Let's keep digging into the past together.